You keep being sad like you've got forever to feel this way. But what if tomorrow never comes? Are you sure today is worth wasting like that? You wake up. Sunlight spills through the curtains like it does every morning. Your phone buzzes with a reminder. Another task, another promise you made weeks ago that doesn't feel like yours anymore. You sit there on the edge of your bed in the same shirt you wore yesterday. The room is quiet, but your mind is anything but. You're not crying, but you're not okay either. You're scrolling through 1,000 moments that could have gone differently, 100 conversations you never had, and at least one "I love you" you wish you'd said before it was too late. And still, here you are, existing, half alive, waiting for the right moment to feel better, waiting for closure, waiting for time, waiting for them to understand, waiting. But here's the thing. No one promised you tomorrow. Not your friends. Not the people who hurt you. Not even life itself. And yet you keep postponing joy. You keep putting off healing. You keep living like you've got 1,000,000 mornings left to feel alive again. But what if you don't? What if this is it? What if this version of today, as ordinary as it seems, is the final page of your story? Would you still spend it lost in someone else's silence? Would you still wear guilt like it's armor? Would you still wait for a moment that may never come? We like to believe there's time. Time to fix what we broke. Time to answer the messages we left unread. Time to finally start being the person we promised ourselves we'd become. But that's the biggest lie we keep telling ourselves. That life waits. That tomorrow is some kind of safety net we can always fall back on. It's not. There's a strange kind of violence in how ordinary a last moment can be. The final goodbye doesn't come with fireworks or music. It looks like, "See you next week." Or a rush wave while checking your phone. Or a voice you swore you'd always remember, fading without warning. No closure, no second take, just real life, moving on with or without you. Psychologist Dr. Irvin D. Yalom, in Staring at the Sun, Overcoming the Terror of Death, writes, "Though the physicality of death destroys us, the idea of death saves us. It saves us if we listen, if we're willing to feel the weight of that truth instead of running from it. But most of us don't. We numb, we distract, we scroll, we push the hard conversations to the next week, the hugs to later, the healing to someday. We assume we have more time to say sorry, more time to say I love you, more time to say anything at all. But what if we don't? What if this was the last day you got to feel anything? Joy, regret, gratitude, even pain. Would you still keep quiet? Would you still wait for the right moment? Would you still believe you're not ready? Because the truth is, you may never be. And the real tragedy isn't death. It's reaching the end and realizing you never really lived. There's a specific kind of pain that doesn't come with screaming. It comes with silence. It comes when you sit in your car after another long day and realize you've been running on autopilot for months. You can't remember the last time you laughed without faking it, or the last time you looked at someone and felt seen. Not just noticed, truly seen. You keep telling yourself you're just busy, just tired, just going through a phase. But deep down, you know you've been gone for a while. You show up to places, but not as yourself. You laugh, but it's filtered. You speak, but it's rehearsed. You answer, "I'm good," before anyone even finishes asking the question. Because it's easier to pretend than to explain what's missing. And what's missing isn't a person. It's presence. It's you. You've spent so long waiting for someone to pull you out of it, to see you drowning behind the smile. But no one's coming. They think you're fine because you're so good at looking fine. That's the part no one tells you about survival. How easy it is to become invisible inside your own life. You scroll through highlight reels of everyone else's joy and convince yourself that yours can wait. You silence your sadness so you don't ruin the mood. You swallow your truth because it doesn't feel convenient enough to say out loud. And every time you do, you trade a piece of your soul for the comfort of fitting in. But fitting in is not the same as belonging. And existing is not the same as being alive. The longer you delay your truth, the louder your regrets become. And one day, you'll sit with all the things you didn't say, the love you didn't give, the boundaries you didn't set, and realize that silence is a cost. And it always comes due. There's a moment, not loud, not dramatic, when something inside you quietly snaps. Not in anger, in clarity. You look around your life and realize you've been waiting for someone to hand you permission. Permission to speak, to rest, to feel, to finally stop editing yourself so you could be more digestible. But no one's going to give you that. And suddenly, you stop begging the world to treat you like you matter. You start acting like you do. You cancel the plans you never wanted in the first place. You say no and mean it, even when it makes the room go quiet. You let the text go unanswered, because not every message deserves your energy. You put on the red dress, not because of the special occasion, but because you are. And maybe, for the first time in forever, you stop living for damage control and start living like you've got nothing left to prove. Not because you've healed, not because you figured it all out, but because you're done putting your aliveness on hold for people who only show up when it's convenient. You realize that being low maintenance isn't a compliment. It's often code for, you require nothing, so I give you nothing. But you are not nothing. And the world doesn't get to decide when you become real. That moment, when you reclaim yourself in the middle of the mess, that's when you start to breathe again, not just with your lungs, but with your entire being. You may not know where this is going. You may still have days when you feel lost, but at least now you're awake, and that changes everything. So now you're here, not healed, not fearless, but finally honest. You've stopped negotiating with your own reflection. You're no longer trying to shrink yourself into whatever version of you makes other people comfortable. You've realized, if life can vanish in a blink, you might as well live in a way that makes your heart beat louder, even if it scares you. And it will scare you. Living fully always does. It means speaking up when your voice shakes, walking away when you still love them, starting over with no map, no plan, just faith in yourself, the one person you always abandon last. It means laughing loud enough to echo, crying without apologizing, dancing without someone needing to watch. It means sending that message, quitting that job, telling the truth, even when your voice cracks halfway through. It means you stop postponing your joy for a version of yourself you haven't become yet. Because this version of you, the messy, confused, imperfect one, she's still worthy of good days. She's still allowed to want more. She's still here. And being here is enough. You don't need another warning. You don't need another heartbreak to jolt you awake. You don't need a countdown or a tragedy or someone to finally say, go. You're allowed to start now, exactly as you are. Because if tomorrow doesn't show up, at least you'll know you didn't waste a day being anyone less than real. That's the only kind of living worth dying for. So if you made it this far, maybe something in you is ready. Not ready in the polished, Instagram ready, I've got all figured out kind of way, but ready in the quiet, shaky, I can't keep pretending I'm fine kind of way. And that's enough. That's where it starts, not with perfection, but with presence. Because the truth is, you're not promised 1,000 more chances to get it right. You're not guaranteed closure, clarity, or clean endings. What you are given is this moment, this heartbeat, this breath. And you get to choose what to do with it. You can wait until you feel enough to begin, or you can begin now. You can keep writing your life like a rough draft you never intend to publish. Or you can decide that messy, honest pages are still worth reading. You don't need to have a 5-year plan. You don't need a spiritual breakthrough. You don't need permission from the version of you who who has it all together. You just need a reason. And maybe that reason is simple. Because you're tired of feeling like a ghost inside your own life. Because you're tired of smiling for the camera and crying in silence. Because you want to feel something real, even if it hurts. So here's the truth, as gently as I can say it. You will lose people. You will get your heart broken. You will wake up some mornings and wish you could disappear. But you're still here. And if that's not enough to live for, then live for the fact that you've made it through every day you thought you wouldn't. Live for the ones who didn't. Live for the dreams you buried, but haven't forgotten. Live for the chance to say, today, I showed up for me. Because maybe that's all we ever really needed. Not more time, just more moments we didn't waste. And if you're still holding your breath, this is your sign to let it go, to live, loudly, softly, truthfully, before tomorrow forgets to arrive. If you're still here, thank you for staying until the end. I hope something in this video touched a quiet part of you, the part that's still trying, still showing up, even on the hard days. If any of this felt like your story, leave a comment, even if it's just a dot, so I know you're out there. And if you like to walk this journey together, don't forget to subscribe to Emotional Healing Space, a place where your feelings are safe, seen, and never judged. I'll see you in the next video. Maybe tomorrow, maybe one last time. Either way, thank you for being real today.